and have the opportunity to have parallel, let's say, games, because up to now we can only host one game. So if you want to play the game and at this point someone else is using the game, this is not possible.
Mm. Yes, this is the point that I have discussed right now with Jose. Could you explain yourself, Jose? Or
Yes. The problem with deploying in our server is we have a Windows server and with several database, but not Postgre. It's MySQL and SQL Server. And also the Nginx proxy server is a problem. We have a different environment than it needs.
so the conclusion is that it's really complicated because here in Syria we use Windows and you use Linux and other things. Well, it's technical issue that obviously I don't understand really well because it's not my topic, but that is the point. Jose can recommend to you another possibilities, but specifically in our server it's not possible because our basis is Windows. So
Yes.
what is the other possibilities, Jose?
It's possible to deploy in an Azure web app. Do you know, George?
Uh, Web app, well, the front end is a web app. It's just JavaScript. But the reason we need the database is to have some way for the different roles of the game to communicate. That's the reason.
But
And with the Node.js, we use WebSockets for this communication to be more dynamic.
I think Azure Web Apps is a possibility because uh, they deploy a container with all you need, and also you pay for just the you use, just for use. So I think it's the easy way to deploy. You don't need a server. You deploy a small container that have all you need.
Mhm. Yes. Well, I can't answer it right now. I have to think about it. If, we can find a way to do it as a small container web app.
And the other thing is there is no simultaneous user. What's the problem?
Yeah, the idea is that we need different roles to communicate. So if we have specified roles from the beginning, only one team can play the game at a time. So the thought was to either have multiple instances of the web app with specific group of roles for each instance. Or another idea was to have one front end and several roles that only interact where the users interact only within the group. Um, but in both cases, we need a database to hold the roles. Um,
Yes, but the roles are not implemented in Postgre.
in Postgres.
Postgres.
Yeah. But we can use MySQL. This is not an issue. We can switch to MySQL database. So maybe I have to see that, but maybe we can build the web app to just need a database connection where it could be MySQL, no problem. And so we'll just use from your infrastructures a MySQL database. That is a possibility, I guess.
David, ¿cuál es la duración del proyecto? ¿Hasta cuándo tendría que estar eso desplegado?
El proyecto finaliza el 30, creo que el 30 de septiembre. 30 de septiembre.
Vale, porque nosotros tenemos unos créditos que se renovarán precisamente a lo mejor por el 30 de septiembre. Lo voy a mirar ahora mismo y que igual les podemos ceder para que desplieguen ahí. A algún usuario de acceso no les va a costar dinero y ya está, y puede ser esa una solución. A nosotros se nos va a renovar el saldo, que es lo que sí que me preocupa, ahí en septiembre, pero si consumimos ahora mismo lo que hay, tienen a lo mejor para gastar 400 o 500
¿Y
dólares ahí.
cuánto les dura eso? Quiero decir, ¿y luego eso cuánto tiempo aguanta el uso ese?
A ver, nosotros lo tendríamos hasta septiembre, o hasta
Sí.
septiembre es cuando tiene que estar desplegado.
Sí. Y entonces, ¿eso quiere decir, luego cuánto tiempo de uso tiene? Una vez que lo has desplegado y lo has pagado, ¿cuánto te deja
A ver,
usarlo?
aquí se paga por uso. Yo te digo que ahora pues lo podemos mantener hasta septiembre,
Sí.
ver lo que cuesta, y si vemos que cuesta mucho, pues ya se lo pasamos, pero que en principio a nosotros nos saldría gratis darle acceso hasta septiembre. Estoy mirando a ver aquí cuando renuevan.
José is
Hasta
exploring
noviembre. Hasta noviembre
until
tenemos.
November. Jose is exploring a possibility to, because we have some available credits in account, and it's possible. Well, and we have available that until November, because we have I don't know, I suppose for another project remanent, and it's possible to give you some access to that credits to have available that until November. No, Jose?
Yes.
Could you explain better, or as well? I don't know if my explanation is correct. ¿Se me ha olvidado algo? I have missed something. Also, no.
Now I can give you a user access to deploy with our account and credit. And in November, we can study if the cost is too much for use or no, or we can continue.
Okay, David, may I say something? Because
Yes.
you know that the project ends in September.
Yes.
We have the final event in Athens on 15th of September, and we would like to present the tool by then. And you know very well that it was not our job to develop the tool, okay? But we did it since Saxion and Taltech practically did nothing, because they were responsible for developing the code, and CDM was responsible for visualizing the tool. Okay, so all we need is your help to upload a tool which is ready in a form where it can be used by several users and avoid the problems that we have so far. I don't think that November will work for us. We need to find out another solution.
No, November, we said that we have available that until November. But obviously we have to implement all of the things that we have before in September, obviously.
You can begin right now.
But we can have right now. The point is that we have access to that credits because that has a cost, and we have that available until November. we have available access to that. And
Okay.
in November we can study if we have to pay again or not. It depends on the cost. But we have available until November. Jose says that. So, but obviously we can implement since today.
Okay.
Because
So,
Jose is going to give you an access
mhm.
and you can put all the information there. I know
Uh,
how Jose can help you to give you some, I don't know, some key points or tutorials or whatever, and to explain you how to do it. And
I,
that is the
I, I don't know. George, what do you say?
Uh, I don't know. So we can have a server until November, right?
no November. We have available that until November. Available but we obviously we can implement since today. The point is that that server, or I don't know, it's a server or whatever, will have a cost until November. So in November we can study if we can pay a little bit more months or whatever. For example, if we think that we need to maintain because if we don't maintain, evaluator can access can have can have some problem. We can try study to maintain, no, that more time until the justification, no. But right now the point is that we have some credits, available credits until that moment, but we can implement right now.
So we can give you free access until November. The other way is to deploy in your own server and redirect the port. It's just 2 months or 3 months. I think it's a possibility too. So you decide. And the other thing is the simultaneous user, I think is programmatic. Perhaps I can help you, but I don't know exactly how it do.
So the way to do it, about the to have more one user is programmatic. You say, no, so you need to see the code, no, or to study how to do
Yeah.
it, no. Yeah. So the point is that, oh, Maria. So the point is that to start to implement, the first step is that you give access, no, Jose?
Uh, what can you repeat?
No,
Because
the following step is that you give access to
yes,
George, and George can start to upload the information there, no, or the software
yes.
or
I think
whatever.
the best way try to deploy in Azure, perhaps this week, and if have no possibility, you have already deployed in your laptop or server, and then another possibility is redirect the port to open the access to public access, and it's just 2 months. I think it is possible. You decide if you want a free access to try to deploy in Azure. Perhaps I can help you, and we can try in this week, and if work, no problem.
What do you think?
George, what does this need from your side? Uh, especially in terms of time and effort.
Well, the issue we have is the multiple use of the app. So that's the only issue right now. So if the server does not solve this, So we just have to think some other possibilities.
Okay.
Yes, I cannot hear the last thing. Can you repeat yours, please?
Another
Sorry?
possibilities.
Ah,
Okay. We already have a server, but we didn't know what to do with the multiple instances of the app. That was the issue.
But what's the problem with Azure, George? You you didn't use it before?
Sorry?
Have you used it before Azure?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Azure.
Azure, the Microsoft Azure. Have you used before or not? It's just
Did you already use? Do you know how to deploy in Azure?
In?
In
George,
Azure, Azure.
Microsoft
Sorry.
Azure.
Azure.
Mm.
Azure. No, I don't think we can use Azure. But
I,
I have to check it. I'm not sure right now. Cannot answer that.
I think we can try because you upload the files using FTP,
Mhm.
and then we on in the browser Azure portal we try to configure to set up the Nginx and the things you need. I think that's the best way.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to try it. I haven't done this before.
Yes, you can look for some information and you advise.
but when if we use that solution, no, if we load in Azure, uh, after that it's possible to see, no, and try to study the possibility to configure for mass for more than one user, no? What's it?
Yes,
Okay, so this is a way. If we don't find another way, we need to try that. If there are not another way, we can help to you to load the information there in Azure and work with Azure.
Okay, but David, we will need your help on that. For us, the best solution would be to send you all the files that George has created, okay, and try to make it work in Azure. Uh, as I said, we have done more than we should have up to now, and I don't know if it's possible to put more effort on that.
So
If it's something that needs, for example, a couple of days, it's okay. But if George needs to learn from zero Azure and how to use it and so on, I think it's not possible.
so well, let's see. It's really complicated to load the information in Azure, Jose, or
no, subir, upload it very easy. It's the same that every every host. You upload the files
if
using
they send
FTP.
us all the information by WeTransfer or whatever, we can upload ourselves or not.
We can try to deploy, but I'm not responsible of this project, and I don't want to tell you it works. I don't know
You don't know if
because
it's going to work. Yeah.
he used some technologies I usually don't use. So but Azure Web Apps work with everything. Just is to set up the all you need.
So Azure can hold a web app as files, right? JavaScript files or HTML
George,
files.
can you talk closer to the microphone?
Yes, we cannot.
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot hear you well.
Uh,
Perhaps it's configured with the
so
webcam.
Azure is a web server, right? And it can hold files of a web app, right? Okay, so um, we can use Azure to call the web app and listen to the database of and the backend of our server. Okay.
The database should be in the same container.
Okay. And the container can be Linux.
Yes, Linux.
Okay. All right. And can we have multiple instances of the app?
Can you repeat?
Can we have multiple instances of this container, like uh, 3 or 4 mirror containers?
Mirror.
Mm.
I don't know what are
Mirror
you.
containers to reproduce several containers. You say that?
Mhm. To have the same web app in four uh, different instances.
In order to be able to play the game, for example, with in 4 parallel sessions. This is why you say that.
Huh?
Yes.
For different users to try to avoid the problem with different users.
Mm.
I think you can scale with several containers, but we have to try.
Mm.
George,
Yeah.
let's try first to transfer, to migrate all we have now to their system, and then see if we can solve the multiple instances.
Mhm.
Yes, but this is crucial. If we cannot solve this problem, there's no need to upload the files in another server. This is the only reason we're trying to do that.
But if we know upload in the server, we don't know if it's going to work. So in order to know if it's going to work, we need to try. Is that's the point. We don't know if it's going to work. The mirror and all of this thing if we don't try. That's the point. So I think we should try because if there are not another way,
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think something else right now. We can try to solve the issue of the users programmatically or do something. We have thought of something, but we haven't tried it yet. Okay.
so
Anyways.
I cannot hear well. So the point is, we have talked about. I cannot hear well. Sorry. The point is that we have talked about the possibility to use Microsoft Azure to load information. Also to talk about the possibility to transfer the information to us, but Jose don't know if it's going to work because perhaps it's more easy to ¿cómo se dice? Redirigir.
Redirect.
Redirect, no? To redirect. So we can try to blow up ourselves the information that you said. If it doesn't work, we need to redirect, for example. And when we have passed this first step, the other point is to try to apply the concept of mirror that Giorgio has said. So I think this is the next steps. But obviously, it's an experiment. We have to see if it works or not. But if we don't try, we don't know if it's going to work or not.
Okay. David, if it doesn't work, what are the alternatives? I mean, you have created some other games before or some other apps before.
Yes, but
Uh,
with different technologies. We use
Yes.
different technologies.
The point
yes,
is, well,
but we have in Java, we have the code. Can you use this code in order to develop the app in your technologies? This is my question. I am not an expert. This is why I'm asking you.
to change the things that you have do in Java to transfer in another, I don't know,
Yes,
impossible.
if you get the code in Java,
Hmm?
No,
uh,
no, Dimitris,
no,
it will be very hard. No.
what would be needed?
If, it depends on the tools that someone uses. It's not. You can answer that very easily. You have to see what someone uses as tools and see if you can do the same things on these tools. And most of the time, it would mean to just redevelop something.
Okay.
Okay, I will do some research on this thing. If we can, if there is at least some documentation or a case where they have done this before. So, and we'll see.
But the way you deploy depend of the tools you use.
Mm,
So I usually use Visual Studio,
mm,
you know, and with Visual Studio it's very easy because they have a button deploy to Azure Connect and everything is done. But I don't know which tools have you used. So I'll try to upload the files to the with FTP and set up the database to join the queries. And the last point is the Nginx. We need the Nginx. Is needed. Do you need to use Nginx?
Nginx. No, I don't think so.
Yes, because it's a prototype. I think no thousands of queries. I think it's not necessary, but we can try. My opinion is try to upload and get it work.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I don't know, David. Let's give it a try. but we should start thinking for alternatives if it doesn't work. Okay, because practically the game is based on an Excel file, and all we need to do is just to transfer the results of the solution in a database and send back the information to the players. But the basis of the game is just an Excel file. So let's give it a try, and we will discuss it again. So if George needs any technical assistance, should he contact Jose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can talk by mail. It's better for me because I usually don't use English, and perhaps I can help you to solve the simultaneous users, but I prefer to read the how you do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's try to that. If not, well, we can study other possibilities. But also remember that I told you that the European Commission is not specify how is the tool, how works the tool, how is the description of the tool, what is the basic requirement of the tool. In the last meeting, I really told you that the things that you develop, what's useful for the National Agency of Greek. But we want to do more. We want to implement more things. We want to connect, no, all the things, and that's the point, no, that we want to try to do it. So yes, let's go to see if that works. But remember that right now for Greek agency, well, in general agency, that is if we put the logo of the European Commission in the Java things that you have developed, I'm really sure that is enough for them. But anyway, let's to go, no, to one step more. Let's see first if it's going to work. That don't think in a negative way. Let's see if it works, and if not, okay, we are going to have another meeting and study possibilities. Jose has a lot of things. If it's possible, we can hire a person that can reproduce the same things in Java, reproduce in another in another tool, in another with another software. We can hire a person that can do that, but for us, it's not so deep necessary because right now there are tools that can be solved for recognition. But anyway, let's try that. Let's try to use the Azure and see if it works or not. Because if we don't test, we are not to do it. Probably in 1 week, we know if it's going to work or not in this week. Yeah.
Okay.
So, ¿tú sabes la complejidad perdona David, la complejidad de lo que están haciendo? Es algo muy...
Yeah, I think so that you should show to Jose. Can you demonstrate to Jose
yes.
quickly how it works?
Can you share a screen?
Can you share the screen and show to Jose how works the tool in order that he can see how works the tool, please?
Give me a second.
Yes.
George, would you like me to connect as a household?
Yeah, but I don't think we need to play the game. I just show the interfaces and the tools.
In the meantime, hi everyone. I didn't have the chance to say hi.
Hello. So, sorry, man. No,
That's okay.
it's working.
Okay, so the front end of the web app is just JavaScript, HTML. This is a normal web app. And just do a login here. And we have some users, some predefined users with two different roles. One is the role of the mayor, and several other users with the role of household. The household enters the data about their waste generation and time spending on sorting waste, etc. And with this information, we create an entity of the household, the database, which holds this data. And we fill up this list of households with their information. With this information, the other role, the mayor, the other user with the role of mayor, can enter and put some fee on each household for each month, depending on his or her judgment and how they want to manage the waste recycling. And that is all. The maker has a similar interface. All this is the front end part of the application, but we have a backend where we can create or delete the users. We use this Node.js app for the interface. It's called Static. And here you can create the users. Either it is a mayor or a household. And all these are just dummy data. You don't need any emails or anything like that. Just some way to connect the users. And this is the issue that we have is if we want to have multiple instances of the game at the same time, we need to find a way to, this front the front end part of the web app to only interact with the users of the same group that they want to play the game, and in a way to have multiple groups of players. And this is Node.js. It has some JavaScript code behind this because we use WebSockets to send the data between the players, so they don't have to refresh the page all the time. And the database is PostgreSQL, but it's not. That's not something that you have to do it in Postgres. You can use any SQL database. That's the whole
You set up the database here in Strapi dashboard.
Sorry?
Where you set up the database?
Yes, you can set it from here, but it is not needed for the game to play. If we can have we can define users in the database and never have to work with Strapi again. But it's useful if you want to have some management, some easier management of the database with an interface. But you can do it with queries.
And can you log with another user and show me the problem, simultaneous users?
Yeah, let's say that we have 10 household users and one mayor playing the game. They will log, but if a second group with a second mayor and 10 more users also log in the app, the games will be mixed, you know, and we can, you can restrict that programmatically, but either we can have, it's hard how then you will distribute the users to different groups. Like if I have one team and they choose the mayor A or X, and another team should choose the mayor B or Y, and the second team cannot choose the mayor or the users of the first team. So it's getting a little bit.
I don't know where the problem is. You have a login user with email and password, different email and password. And what the problem simultaneous? I don't know.
Porque el problema está en que luego este juego ya está como jugado. Es como ya está con esos juegos, con esos usuarios, ya está jugado.
Vale,
Entonces, por eso te ha preguntado por el mirror.
Pero eso es del código. That's a code problem. You have to review why it worked, why it is. I don't know the code, but that's not a problem with database connection or login or roles. It's how it do.
Yes, one thought is to somehow fix this. The other way would be to have the same web app in multiple instances, if that would be a possibility.
Yes, but it depends of the use of reviewers. If we have a lot, I really don't know how many users we will have. Perhaps 1 to 10 is possible, but no more.
Yeah.
So you think that it's possible to reconfigure the code in order that when you want to restart the game and to restart with the new group of students?
It is a possibility, yes. We haven't yet tried anything, but it was a possibility, yeah, to somehow develop so we can have multiple instances of the game in the same web app.
George, may I ask something? So far we have just the mayor and the households, okay? But if we had also an administrator, and the administrator, of course, will be the teacher. So the administrator logs into the game, and he assigns the roles. Is it possible if to say, for example, that we have maximum 5 administrators, which means that you can play the game, you can play 5 parallel games at the same time, and that's all. And if I log in as an administrator, the accounts of the mayor and of the households will be connected with this specific administrator. So if there is another teacher that wants to use the game, he will log in as administrator number 2, and the accounts of the mayor and the households will be connected only with this administrator account. Is this possible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so one solution is to use an administrator, 5 different administrators, and because I'm trying to find out the easiest and fastest solution. And of course, we will make some compromises. The second problem that we had, David, is that someone needs to erase the data of the game every time that someone else wants to use it. So my opinion is that we will provide guidelines for the game, saying that once you log in, you will complete the game, or if you don't complete the game, when you log out, everything will be erased. Maybe it's not that convenient if, for example, someone wants to play the game for a week, let's say. But I think that, okay, this is a middle solution between what we have now and what would be ideal.
It's not the data, Dimitris, is not much of a problem because the administrator will be able to delete the data. So if a new teacher logs in to fix the game, he can delete the previous data.
Yes, but I think it's better to have it automatically.
Yeah, of course.
Once you log out, everything is deleted. And of course, we need a warning if, for example, 5 different teams use the game and the sixth team tries to log in. This team needs to have a warning saying that right now all places, all positions of the administrators are full, and please try back later. Something like that. Okay. If this is possible, maybe it's not necessary to get involved with Azure right now, because I know that you have put a lot of effort to that. So I don't want to make it even harder for you. And of course, I hope that it won't be a problem to have, I mean, from the space that you have in the server, in the virtual server, it won't be a problem to have 5 different games, because I guess that the data is not that much for each game. So, George, I don't know, just think of it. We will discuss it, of course, later. And if we can come up with a solution without using Azure, we can go for it. And the only thing that we know from Jose and David is somehow when a user enters the OER on the BlockWASTE website, to be redirected to our game.
No,
but
yeah,
I think
this is a direct link. Yeah, that is easy. That is not a problem. To have an access from the OER to the video game.
Okay.
And also from the MOOC, also it's possible to put another link. So
okay, so give us a couple of days to discuss it with George, and if we come up with a solution with our own resources, we will let you know.
What do you
Okay?
want? We are. If you don't find a solution, try to use Azure.
Yeah. Otherwise, we will need your help in Azure.
Okay.
Okay?
But if Azure doesn't work, let's to talk about the third solution that you talked previously, and let's see if we can reproduce.
So,
We
David,
can hire someone, and we can reproduce the things that you have seen in Java in another.
okay. So, David, you suggest George to send the files to Jose anyway.
In order to review, I don't know, José, ¿tú quieres los archivos de todas maneras por echarle un vistazo?
A ver, lo mejor sería darle un email y que ellos prueben. Pero bueno, si me quieren pasar los archivos, voy a saber mejor de qué están hablando, porque la verdad
Yes,
es que
if you can send us the files, he can review.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it.
And we have to also talk with Herman Perry to see what they are doing with the blockchain part.
Yeah, they're doing nothing. We are going to connect the blockchain game with the app. George is working on that.
Yes, I know.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's from our side. Maria, I don't know if you want to discuss with David the financial issues.
I have prepared that. Yes, José, vamos a hablar ahora de temas financieros y demás.
Yes.
Si quieres quedarte o...
Yes, we can continue by email. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye,
Bye.
Jose.
Bye.
David,
Bye. Bye.
David,
Yeah.
do you want me to? You sent an email saying that you are going to answer. Do you want me? Do you want to write to me, or do
I
you
am
want?
writing the answer. Well, the first point is it's a little bit weird because these things has to be done at the end in the mobility to justification because we have carried out yes a trip more, a one trip more, and perhaps not all the people can trip, and also can be some transfer in the last in the last. Due to the last trip, and also perhaps you cannot get 30 attendance in the last seminar. So this is a little bit weird that they require to you now to send the transfer. Okay. Anyway, I am answering to you to how to confirm it to you how to do the transfer. But the correct way to do it is in the mobility at the end of the project in the justification. And in October or November, when we write the proposal, how to transfer the money. So
The
I
problem
don't
is
know
that
why.
we cannot justify any money. The program ends in September, and if we need to make to justify some man hours in the project, we cannot do this. We cannot add hours to the IOs if we ask for this in October. The program will be ended in the end of September. So how can we add hours in the outputs, in the intellectual outputs, after the program has ended?
Well,
That's the
you
problem.
say program and you don't say project. So
Project, sorry, the project.
no. I'm thinking about the excuse of Greek agency. The project ends. Yeah, but the topic is that when you want transfer,
Yes.
you transfer in the mobility tool, but when you justify in October, November. But Greek agency has required to you to justify or explain the transfer now. Yeah, that is the point.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
that is not fair. That is not fair.
I
We
know,
have to
but
do it. We have to do it. Okay, we have to do. But the usual thing in the rest of case that I have participated is to transfer when we are justifying in at the end of the project when the project has finished. So the way to justify. My idea is to explain about the MOOC, basically the MOOC, and we can reserve, we can maintain some another things. For example, we work more in the part of the handbooks. We can say now, or we can maintain not to say. The point is that if finally at the end of the project, okay, in October, November, we saw that there are some things, there are some money that we haven't spent. For example, the last trip in Greece or the seminar has not get the 30 students, and we want transfer. The idea is
40 we need.
40. Okay.
40.
So the idea is not to say all the tax, all the extra tax that we have done. So the idea is to set some tax, for example, MOOC, right now, is just in order to justify some transfer. But when we carry out the justification in mobility tool, we try to justify more transfer. If that is the case, if it's the case that we need to transfer more because in September we don't get the 40, we get finally 30, we need transfer 10 students more, 1,000 euros, we need to transfer, I don't know, some trip, I don't know, and to reserve some tax about that. So I talk about you about the list of tasks that we can justify. I right now thinking in these two tasks, but let's see if I can think in another new and send to you the email this morning in less than 1 hour. Before 12 here in Spain, in 1 hour.
Okay,
David,
okay.
That is the idea. Not say all the tax. Just say some tax and reserve another tax in the mobility to justify extra movement of money. Yes.
okay, we have two issues. The first one is if we are going to transfer maximum 20% of the budget category, or if we are going to transfer 60%, up
No,
to
no,
60%.
we are going to try 60. Yes. Because
You're saying that we need to try for 60.
yes.
Yes, but 60% is for online
Activities.
activities.
Yeah, that's why I guess David said about the MOOC.
Yes, I know. And
That is the point.
And the second problem that we have, and this is due to the bureaucracy that we face at the university, if, for example, we decide to transfer money on September, we simply cannot absorb the money in the intellectual outputs because they need the contracts for September maximum at the end of August. Of course, this is not an issue for the other partners. It is just for us.
Yeah, yeah, because you have that problem.
And the last question is, what happens in case that the authority says that you cannot do that, or in case they reject the transfers that we make at the mobility tool? What is your experience on that?
Well, the point is that this is some things that we need to find. No, we have the usually works because we have the first is obviously imagine that we have tried for that. We have tried to transfer all the things and whatever. Okay, if finally we cannot get the transfer, okay, we are in the worst position. Each partner is going to be funded by the quantity of money that they really can justify. For example, if there are some partners that he missed 2 trips or 2 persons and he tried to transfer that, but is the name is finally he cannot transfer that, and University of Athens cannot transfer that. Obviously, the University of Athens is not in the position to, okay, I am going to transfer to all partners that I promise, but I am going to lose money. No, that is not the point. The European Commission has denied the transfer, so all partners has to be paid, taking into account that
So
cannot be transferred.
we need to inform the partners that if they transfer money and the authority says that I don't accept it?
Yes, you can communicate to all of them, and indeed we can send two calculations. Calculations they weigh asset and the calculation that they don't asset. For example, in order to be really transparent. Anyway, according to the contract that we sing, all partners at the beginning of the project, the leader, the coordinator, is the organization in charge to share the balance of the project, the last payment. So yes, if you want to be more transparent, better, no? Because at the end of the project, nobody is going to say, you don't say no. It's transparent. It's in the email. I told you that if we get it, the transfer, this is your budget, your budget. But if we don't get the transfer, this is the another budget. In order to
David,
be
I
clear.
know from other European projects, Horizons, for example, that when you get the final payment, you get a financial report from the European Union saying that NTUA has this budget, CTM has this budget, and so on. Is this the same in Erasmus, or they're just saying that the final payment is, for example, 30,000 euros, but they don't say how much money they have accepted?
Yes, it's also is depend of the Nigerian agency, because sometimes could happen, for example, that for example in the German agency they tell us you are going to receive this money, and they don't say how to share. But we have another experience there where they send us what is the quantity of money that is going to transfer, and per each partner, because when they eliminate some transfer, they justify what transfer has been eliminated. So it's depend of the national agency. It happened that perhaps the question is to ask directly to the national agency, or okay, you have got to me, explain me where you have got, in order that to know if some partners has been cut or not. That is if happens to do that to us that to it happened to us that no in we can request it's another another thing to do. Usually it's easy to detect where the budget has been cut. It's usually because in general they tell us in what item has been cut. For example, they tell us has been cut in the trip, or has been cut in the has not been, you don't have permission for transfer. Anyway, this is something that we need to ask if happened that, but anyway, we have the opportunity to fight for that, and usually if we have the emails, we have in a specific call where we have suffered the pandemic in the other time. I think it's not we are not going to have big problems to get the transfer. The only thing is that trap that they have put it to on, that is that okay, you want transfer 60%, okay, require to me now, not at the end. So if we do
Yes,
that, we have the problem
yes,
that in September we have what we are going to do. It's complicated to solve. In your case, if you don't get, for example, 40 students, well, 40 students, 40 attendants, uh, it's complicated to solve because you don't have the possibility to give to put it
transfer.
to transfer to output. So in that case, we are going to lose the money.
But in, let's say, we managed to get, for example, 60 attendance. Can we cover the losses, let's say, from the other two events? We can say that, okay, we have 60, German, Tallinn has 20, but we cover them because we have 60, and we do not need any transfer in this case.
It depends on the agency. But sometimes for that things we need to require some permissions because they have funding to you for a maximum, well, for a minimum
Okay.
and a maximum of students. And if you want to say, okay, I want to transfer that, for example, in a Spanish project, we do that. We have a partner that he has 4 seminars. The total of the project was 7 seminars. There was a lot of seminars. But one project has to carry out 4 seminars with 10 attendance per seminar. Finally, he gets 12, 13, these figures. Finally, we put that figures because he needs to transfer for trips, but finally we said, okay, instead of to put it more outputs, you have lost money with the trips. Okay, instead of that, justify the real. Let's try, no? And we do that on works in SEPI, in National Agency in Spain. Yeah, and we don't ask previously. It's going to work here. It's depend of the agency. Perhaps the evaluator, the Greek evaluators thinks that it's not possible because you have facts first, for example. It depends on the quantity of money, because in that case we are talking about 500 euros or more or less, so it's not a really big problem. But if we are talking about more money, perhaps it's better to ask. But if we have over in Germany, I think we are not over the minimum, no, because the most of attendance was online. So indeed, in Germany, they need to transfer. No, the point is, if you, for example, get more than 40 in Greece, you can take, no, the part of the budget that has not been developed by German, and you can take with your extra attendance. Yes, we can do that, but we can do, indeed we can do it without acts, because when you write in the mobility, you can put it the number whether you want. The mobility, if you have finally 60 attendance, you can put it in the mobility 6 attendance. And if the evaluator that is okay, that money, that 2,000 euros, finally is going to be for Entua. The point is necessary to ask to an agency or not? In the case of Spain, what not necessary. In a specific case with low transfer of money. I don't know. The best solution, if you want to be sure, is to ask to the national agency and says, and there are a meeting that we. What happened if in the last meeting I have more attendance and there are a part of money that has not been spent in the seminar? Is possible to transfer to my seminar? Yes or no?
Okay.
And let's see. My answer is yes, but it depends on the agency.
Okay, let's see. Please have a look also at the Excel I have sent to you and tell me how you could see the possible transfer.
Yeah, I am going to. Yes, I am going to. I am going to ask to you, but this is not the complete picture. That is the problem. But
I know, but with the picture that we have right now, just to better understand also how I will do this. And one more question: how many people are you going to be here in Athens? 1 or 2, finally?
Yeah, in our case, one sure. If we lose the budget, that is our problem. But we cannot go in this trip too, because it's not going to be possible for Carlos, and also it's not possible for Juana. Another Juana is just giving the milk to the baby. We don't have. Probably I'm going to be. Indeed, I have buy the flight. I have the flight. So
Okay.
sure.
How much did you pay for your flight?
Really cheap in our case, because the other possibilities was 500. I get a flight for 180 euros.
Okay, that's very good.
That is very good, very good. But it's just I have buy now and I have talked with my partners because I found that trip indeed, but I have to go to 14 until Saturday. And the trip has a duration of 10 hours to go, 10 hours to come back.
Yes, we have this problem with Kosovo, and the cheapest with 10 hours from here to Kosovo was 386.
Yeah, Kosovo I also has bought and is close to 500 euros.
Oh God. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I was pressing.
Yeah, I really have
Please
buy.
tell us. Yes.
And also 10 hours to go, 10 hours to come back.
Yes, yes. Difficult. Anyway. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Let me to answer to you in 45 minutes now.
Okay, David. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.